Alright, update on the Street Scribbler project. I've gotten the body painted. I'm probably 90% complete with the body itself now. I threw up a quick backdrop just to kind of show the body a little better, and mainly for people that ever build this kit in the future, kind of seeing it in the flesh. Now the front bumper I've got stuck on there. I had to re-chrome that because the chrome that was in the kit was kind of blemishy looking, and then when I tried to repair where the sprue points were, that caused even more blemishes. And then I went a step further and scratched it with my knife. So I ended up taking this bumper and stripping it and trying to get that undercoat off, because the undercoat was not that good. I think that was a lot of the problem. Well, I couldn't get it all off. It wouldn't come off for nothing. And I took a toothpick and was trying to scrape some of that undercoat. Well, that kind of blemished up the bumper, and I ended up priming and sanding and wet sanding. I took out, it had some rivet head type details on it. I ended up taking that out in the process, which was fine. I wanted to do that anyway, but I finally ended up just sanding, priming, wet sanding. I finally did it with put a gloss black alclad base coat on it so I could, in preparation for alclad and chroming it. And it's still, when I put that black gloss base coat on it, it really brought out flaws or waves and just ridges and stuff in it. So I ended up going back, and what I did was I actually dipped it in Future and let it just drizzle on a paper towel, and that actually smoothed out that bumper finally back to something usable. So now it's a little bit less chromy than the other parts of the back chrome on the model, but it works. It works out. Now I gotta say, the chroming, the bare metal foil on this model was a nightmare. It was hours and hours and hours of work to do the bare metal foil. It's a lot of pieces and stuff going on. You've got a lot of curves. You've got a lot of swirl under type stuff, like on the back here. You've got those, unless you just use a lot of bare metal foil and just throw sheets of bare metal foil and cut out around it and waste a lot of foil, you're going to be doing a lot of piecing of foil. And I think in the future, when I do my main build of this model, my big time build, I will probably just use sheets of the stuff and just count a sheet of bare metal foil as part of the expense, because trying to piece it together and do it in strips and all that is just a major ordeal. I had a lot of blemishes and parts where things eventually kind of rubbed off or flaked, and I had to go back with a Sharpie and touch up stuff. Well, it looked okay, but then when I put the clear on this, I actually did something different. It showed up. It showed up where I touched up and stuff. It kind of showed even more. And this is the first time I've ever did bare metal foil and all that kind of stuff and then cleared the model over the top of that. I've never done that before. I've always done bare metal foil as one of the last things. But I decided just to give it a try to harmonize everything. And it came out okay. But the thing is that the trim itself in the molding is rough. There's little areas, and it thins out, it gets thicker, it's not the same as the other side. There's a lot of work to this model. I mean, it would almost be worthwhile, for example, like where this piece comes up and it goes around and it comes back down again and all that. By the time you tried to fix all that and putty and sand, I'm beginning to think it would be almost worthwhile just to sand all this off and take really thin strip styrene and just start gluing it back down and using that. I mean, in the long run, I think over time, as a time saving, that would work. As far as the rocker panel area and this down here, I think it's more of a brushed aluminum on the model, or on the real car. this part here underneath that trim, and then the rocker panel. I actually masked off the whole model on both sides and sprayed that with Alclad. And what I had done prior to that is, after I sprayed the green, I took Future on a brush and I just futured it just to smooth it out, just to give it a little bit more glossy, smoothy, finish. And I knew the Future wouldn't obliterate detail once it dried. Then I sprayed Alclad, and that worked out pretty good. I like the way that worked out. But all this trim, oh my gosh, it was hours and hours and hours of work. I still have not finished because on the actual car, this whole opening has trim around it. And I haven't done that yet because I'm working on I've got a photo etch grill. So I was just going to make that just a whole project of trimming out the opening, getting the photo etch grill to work, and then that's where I ran into problems and I'm stalled, is because there's actually a company that makes the resin bezels for the headlights, because the photo etch grill just has the holes, and you got to have some type of bezels to do it proper. Well, it's going to cost a lot of money to just order those bezels. There's a minimum order. The guy that actually does carry them, Replicas and Miniatures of Maryland, there's a $30 minimum order, plus there's $10 shipping. And that's a lot of money when right now all I need is just those bezels. So I'm going to Plan B, which I'll show in the next installment. The body itself was, this is just the spray can citrus, something or another. This color up here, again, the white is the spray can Wimbledon white, which is an off-white. And then what I did is, like I said, I went ahead and did the trim after spraying those colors and they cured. And then I sprayed the whole body with enamel. I sprayed with just the regular Model Master bottle enamel mixed with lacquer thinner, and just laid it on there. Kind of the Don Yost method, pretty much. This is the stuff I used. And I mixed it 2 to 1, 2 parts of this stuff to 1 part thinner, just regular cold thinner, lacquer thinner, not the hot stuff. And sprayed her down in several coats, and it came out really nice. I mean, the gloss finish you get from this rivals a 2-part urethane, is about as close as you can get with still using modeling products. Yeah, there's a few blemishes and bits and stuff in there that'll be buffed out. I'm not trying to put way too much work into this anyway, but this has been a learning experience building this. But I tell you what, if you've never done bare metal foil before and you really want to push yourself, do this kit. I can guarantee you. I mean, at the back end, I mean, you've got where it coils under. It curves, it comes around, and curves down. Yeah, I mean, it's piecing, a lot of piecing. Unless you use full big sheets and stuff, of the stuff. You could use a whole sheet of bare metal foil to do it right on this kit. But anyway, just want to show an update. Don't want to get too going on here. And that I've got the body 90% done. I've still got to do the emblems. There's emblems going up in the front and on the back and on this front here. And right here. They're gold, some of them. And, so I'm almost there. The thing is, this body's got to cure for a while because I did use enamel. It's been about 24 hours now, so I ain't having to worry about stuff sticking into the finish, and I was able to film, but it's going to be a few days before it's cured enough because it's still soft. It takes time to cure. That's one of the things about using enamel. But yeah, in the end, it's going to come out all right. So I'm just going to leave this for a few days and work on other stuff. I'll have another video coming up on an update on my Roadrunner. So this is going to be set aside for a little bit, other than some interior finishing up and putting the glass in and stuff like that. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.